Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Question for you guys. Did you think that Donald Trump, if he gets elected as the US president, will be able to end the Ukraine war in 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, a week? Did you think he's going to be able to end it in 24 hours? So when you heard Trump saying, I will end it in 24 hours, I'm going to call Putin, I'm going to call Zelensky, I'm going to smack them a little bit and they will just accept my authority. Did you think that? If you thought that, you're a baboon. And I know you didn't because you're here with me. So it was obvious. And I said this many times, Trump cannot end the conflict in 24 hours. Now, we have here some imbeciles saying, oh, Trump backpedaling on his campaign promise to end the war in 24 hours. Really? But hey, that's aimed targeting a certain section of our society, the majority, which is below 86 IQ, the bottom feeders. All right, that's the first topic I'm going to discuss. The second one, listen to this. The European Union fights for a seat at Ukraine peace talks. Can you believe how delusional these guys are? After the Ukraine war, I'm talking about stopping hostilities, the European Union will be destroyed, will be occupied more than it was before by the Americans. This is what they want to. I want to be at the table with the big dogs. Churchill should not have been at the talks between Soviet Union and United States of America. France, nothing there. They were not. By the way, Great Britain screwed its empire, became bankrupt with Mr. Churchill. So, good job for you. So, we're going to discuss the European Union's fight to be at the table negotiating. It's unbelievable, man. Now, the Americans, actually, a Trump advisor, who is Michael Waltz, says that Ukraine must acknowledge territorial reality, that is, maybe gonna have to allow the Russians to keep something they took. All right, that's another one. Next one, Germany's Chancellor, Baboon Scholz, in chief, backs Putin Trump meeting. Why didn't you go and met Putin, homie? You know who's in charge. That's why European Union is going to lose more and more and more of its shaky status. All right, my friends, let's go and see the last piece of information here, which I think is very important. Putin will meet Putin, the president of the Russian Federation, obviously, will meet the Iranian president, the president of Iran, to sign some paperwork. That is, we're getting closer. There's going to be an alliance, like the Russians signed with Kim Jong-un, Mr. Woodchuck from North Korea. Is going to be the same thing with the Iranians, which is whomever attacks you automatically triggers our reaction to defend you. Under our doctrine, with nuclear weapons. Congratulations and shalom to you. All right, let's start with the first one. Here it is. Massive reversal. Trump ripped for already backpedaling on key campaign promise. Critics are putting President-elect Donald Trump on blast after a key advisor appeared to back away from a major campaign promise. Trump has repeatedly claimed he would end the war between Russia and Ukraine within 24 hours of taking office or even sooner. Like what, negative 24 hours? Before the 24 hours, like negative? But retired Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg, who Trump tapped to serve as special envoy to the two nations, told Fox News last week it would take longer, echoing comments made earlier by Trump himself. And I'm quoting, "Let's set it at 100 days and move all the way back and figure out a way we can do this in the near term to make sure that the solution is solid, it's sustainable, and this and that this war ends so that we stop the carnage, he said. Well, the problem is Trump said he's gonna have a ceasefire. Didn't manage to solve the problem, which again, it was, I think, baboonish. Or with this, let's make it 100 days, maybe the Pentagon, the guys that Donald Trump signed, checkmark the boxes, checks, pack, yes, I'll do this, yes, I'll do this, yes, I'll do this. Now they tell him, now you gotta come out and tell the baboons that, hey, you belong to us and you're gonna do what we told you to do. And you said, if I get selected and then elected, then I will do that. Or, again, Pentagon, the security state, the banking system, the energy industry, and the big pharma are just there to help us all. Help us all what? Wane away? All right, let's look at these delusionals. New voice of Ukraine. European Union fight for a seat at Ukraine peace talks. These guys are delusional. European leaders want to ensure they have a seat at the table in talks to end Russia's war against Ukraine. My friends, that's only one scenario under which the European Unions will be allowed to enter the room. To dilute the power. That's all. That's all. So instead of having, Coca-Cola and Fanta coming together, you're going to have Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola, Fanta, Mountain Dew, Garbage Lou, and lo. So it's like, It's not black and white. It's going to be black, white, bee, boo, ba, ba, ba. That's what it's diluting the audience or diluting the speakers. That's what you do. You have, instead of having one speaker or maybe two who debate, you're going to have 15 so that people will get what? How do you call that? I think it starts with a D as well. They get lost. They get confused. Yeah, it starts with a D, confused. Yeah, confused D. All right, so you confuse them. That's the only reason. When the Americans going to say, well, we're here with the European Union as well, and we're two of you want, we have authority of about, 40 states here, and you have just you. We're not going to allow anybody else on your side, no, or anybody else from outside. It's just to flood the whole conversation. European Union is a dying state, whatever it is, an entity, that the Americans are going to take over and are going to control it how much they want, more than they already are doing it. That's what's going to happen. And the European Union could a little bit have some cracks that might, have a few countries saying, you know what, maybe that was not a good idea. And maybe we want to be, kind of independent. All right, let's go to the next topic. Ukraine must acknowledge territorial reality, Trump advisor. Acknowledging the situation on the ground is a major step towards bringing the conflict to an end, Michael Waltz has said. Talks like a normal adult. He's not a genius. This is something some of us, spoke about this, have been speaking about this for 3 years. It is not possible to, and I'm quoting, expel every Russian from every inch of soil claimed by Ukraine, including the Crimean Peninsula. Incoming U.S. National Security Advisor Waltz has admitted. Acknowledging, I'm quoting, that reality has become a major step towards resolving the conflict between Moscow and Kiev. Waltz told ABC News in an interview, and I'm quoting, everybody knows that this conflict has to end somehow diplomatically. I just don't think it's realistic to say we're going to expel every Russian from every inch of Ukraine's soil. Even Crimea, President-elect Trump has acknowledged that reality, and I think it has been a huge step forward that the entire world is acknowledging the reality. This is how it is. Let me translate that for you. I'm this guy, Waltz. We tried to pull a Gaddafi on Putin and take over Russia. We failed. So now we have to discuss. This is the translation. It's not that, the world wants peace and we're going to come and we're going to deliver peace. 2014, coup d'etat in Kiev. Who's responsible for that? Waltz. That's where really things went down. All right? I'm not going to go to 1994 or something else. Just think about it. All right, let's move on here. Waltz suggested that accepting the fact that returning to Ukraine's original post-Soviet borders is unrealistic now opens the way to addressing the question of how do we no longer perpetrate this conflict and how we no longer allow it to escalate in a way that drags in the entire world. No, it's you. Back the fuck off. Simple. You get out. You take your weapons from Romania, from Poland, from the Baltic states, aimed at Russia, and I think we have a chance to have world peace. No? But you crept, you came over, and those guys smacked you, and you lost. You've been losing because you're afraid to get the Russians head on. Why? You're gonna get scratched too, so you don't want that. Why? Because you're a pussy. Your interests don't want that. They will be affected negatively, not positively as they are right now. So, ba. All right, let's see how this weak link Schultz is backing Putin Trump meeting. What stopped you, Scholz, to talk and go to talk to Putin? What? Who? What interest, possibly? I tell you what interest. The US interest, right here. These guys stopped you, prevented you, and interest behind them because the West is owned. The potential talks could pave the way for possible negotiations on Ukraine, the Chancellor has said. Why didn't you talk about this 2 years and a half ago, Scholz? Why didn't you said this 2 years ago, 1 year ago, 6 months ago? Why now? Because you've been fucking losing. That's why. And now you try to say, no, this is for you, for the whole world. I want a Nobel's Prize now. Nobel's Peace Prize. Whatever garbage they're gonna give. So German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has welcomed the idea of meeting between Russian President Vladimir Putin and US President-elect Donald Trump, saying it could potentially help resolve the Ukraine conflict. Of course, what do? You go to the origin. I told you this, I gave you this analogy many times. If you have a pipe in your basement, let's say, water pipe or water hose, hose, pipe, and it's broken and water comes in. You don't go over there and get the squeegees and you get the towels and you get the buckets and you just do this and the water keeps coming. You go to the origin. You go to the little faucet over there that turns off the water coming from wherever it comes, from your well or from your city. Click, or and after you do that, then you clean it nicely, then you repair it. So you go to the origin, you go to the Americans in this case. The Americans are the ones. I've been saying that, and that's the reality. You've been creeping towards these guys with the handguns drawn out of your holsters, and you were approaching. And the Russians told you, back off, and smack. And this is what it is. And now they are the saviors? No, Trump is not the savior because I don't think Trump is his own guy. I think he signed some papers. Imaginary papers. You know what I mean? And he's allowed to do what these guys allow him to do. He already backpedaling. We all knew that. And let's see what the Russians are doing instead, because the Russians are just isolated. Isolated together in the same room with 150 other states. Why? Because about 43 are in Russia, are in Al Capone's plantation. So Russia is very isolated with 49, because Russia is one of them. 149 countries plus Russia is isolated having a party. And the other ones, United States of America with the other 42 countries are having their hora, sang by Havala Gila. Okay, da-da-da-dee-da-da-da. That's what it is. God damn it. So what's going on here? The isolated Russia. Putin meets with evil Iranian president. The two leaders are expected to sign a landmark agreement of bilateral cooperation according to a statement. Military, that is. Discuss prospects for further expansions of bilateral cooperation according to Kremlin. The sides are expected to sign a strategic partnership agreement during the talks. They will also talk the current regional and international events according to Kremlin. After the meeting, the presidents will sign the comprehensive strategic partnership agreement between Russia and Iran and will then meet the media to provide statements. Ready? The Kremlin said that Iran and Russia were on the rise, the relations, the strategic, and they will reach the level of a comprehensive strategic partnership. Got it? And here it is. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov stated at the end of October that a treaty setting out this partnership was being prepared and it would enable closer cooperation in the field of defense between Moscow and Tehran. Got it, my friends? What do you think this is? Russia is very isolated. So the US's coup failed in Russia, together with a little plantation over there. And now they try to appear, as I said, and I'm not going to put a medal or maybe give me some, general thing. Or colonel, I am okay kind of with that, all right? But colonel, I already have colonel. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so now they come as the saviors. Oh, everybody, the Americans are coming to save the world and solve the problem because these baboons here, the Russians and the Ukrainians, are just... when I'm the one, I am the one. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.